All right. Hey everyone, we're here today. Today.
Yeah.
No. Welcome to another episode of That's All Kayfabe. It is today, right?
Uh,
We,
yeah. Today,
right today, and I'm here with good old Gabe. I'm my buddy Gabe. How you doing, Gabe?
I'm doing good, man. It's I'm checking my watch. It's today, and it is about that time.
It is about that time. I I,
hmm
I I know we're gonna start hearing
Let's wrap it
that
up.
that music playing outside of your window, saying the ice cream man's around somewhere.
Oh, dude, I know. So right now, to be on, I for those who don't know, every time it hits around 2 o'clock, the ice cream man passes by, and they're always on time. So I feel like every time we record, is it every time we record, or is it like right before we record that the
It's
ice cream man passes by?
It's typically right as we're like hitting the record button at 2, because we
hmm
typically record around 2 o'clock, and yeah, it just right now it's like 1. I guess if you want to
hmm
break the curtain, get behind the curtain here.
I know. A couple of weeks ago, I finally stopped him because I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" Like I got loose bills because every time he passes by, I'm just like, "Dude, I want to get like a bomb pop or something." Man, inflation got everybody, bro. I got a bomb pop. That shit was 250.
If I were to get something from like the paletas, like if they were the Mexican ones, I like that. Is it like that coconut one with pecans sort of in it? That one's pretty good.
Yeah, that one. That one's okay. I usually just go for like chocolate or like cookies and cream when I get the
Okay.
paletas. The one I started liking was the banana flavor one. Those are
That
fucking
one
awesome.
that one's good too. Cookies and cream
Yeah,
and the banana one sounds fucking good too.
those are the ones I would give my business to because you know what you're getting, and those are fucking good.
Well, no. Speaking of resting in peace, and no, I don't know. speaking, speaking of that's fucking good and all that's good in the world. There was another loss in the wrestling community this week. Here's Roman Reigns tweeting out, "Our family has suffered another great loss with the passing of my uncle and WWE Hall of Famer Gata Vasta Afa Amatiana Tiane Anoe. We thank everyone for their support and are comforted by the fact that he now rests in peace. Afa and my father, Pala Avao Leti Sika Anoe. I feel like a fucking meat person butchering these names here. Uh, Anoe were loving brothers, the greatest tag team in their generation, and now they're reunited together in heaven. Rest in power, Wild Samoans.
Man,
Uh, and I was looking at this family tree here, trying to see like where it was at, and I think it's like up here, like the second one. I think,
yeah, the Anawai family.
yeah.
Uh, Let me see. So if you find Roman Reigns somewhere, uh, on the bigger side, I think it's on the left side. I'm trying to see where. Okay, so I see the two Fatus because one of them's Rikishi.
See here,
Uh,
this Afoa Anoi
let me see.
and Afa Anoi Senior.
I'm trying to see where I can see Roman Reigns because
Jacob, Monica, Lance,
okay,
Simone.
there they are. There's okay. I see the Usos, Jonathan Fatu, and then married to Trinity. So then
Here's
that's
Rikishi.
Rikishi.
Here's Rikishi here.
I
So it's
forgot what.
somewhere
Uh,
here.
yeah, no, the Wild Samoans. Like back to the topic. Um, I remember when I was younger, my dad he had a bunch of old wrestling tapes, like just recorded off the black box because we would have pay per views for free. It was always
Mm,
channel 44.
hell yeah.
And he said he would have his VCR connected to it. So every time a pay per view showed up, he just put a VCR in, record, and then he would record the pay per view so we could have it. And he would show me a bunch of old videos of like the Wild Samoans, which is Afa and Sinka, and their manager, Captain Lou Albano. I don't know if you remember him, but he was the dude that had the fucking rubber bands hanging from his face. Billy, Billy, Billy. I don't know why. I don't know why he does that, but that's like he was his gimmick, I guess.
I remember him in the "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" Cyndi Lauper music video. He was like the angry dad or something.
He was in there. I
Hmm.
was okay, man. You opened up like a Vietnam flashback, but a good Vietnam flashback.
I don't know if that exists, but okay, a good one.
but but those were like the tag teams. It's like that when I hear like 80s wrestling, it's like I imagine like the Wild Samoans as well as like, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage. It's like just those larger than life characters as like everyone needed a gimmick where it wasn't like really a gimmick for them because it was just like their heritage and they were just like tough SOBs in general.
Hell yeah! No, I don't know anything really about like this family. I didn't grow up watching wrestling until I don't know. I didn't even really watch the Hulk Hogan days. It was more into the Attitude Era. Growing up is when I really, when everyone kind of got into wrestling, is when I got into wrestling. Right there
Hmm.
with like Stone Cold and The Rock and Mankind and stuff. Not really any time before. I knew of it. I just didn't really like. I don't know. I was just watching Ninja Turtles and shit like that. You know.
Oh man, dude, I fucking love the Ninja Turtles.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. Let's talk about the Ninja Turtles real quick. So we talk about it for 45 minutes.
Yeah, on that tangent. No, I mean, I hope Roman Reigns is fine from the
Hmm.
passing. I mean, I'm sure, it was about his time. It doesn't sound like there was anything that like, it wasn't because of this or that. It just he passed away, and
Hmm.
everyone loves him, so that's good. It's always good
Yeah.
when there's no controversy around a passing of somebody.
No. Yes, definitely. There were. I think the last time they were shown on TV was like 2020, like during the pandemic.
Mm.
And I remember when they were shown on TV, like giving the Roman Reigns that I forget what it's called. Not the lay, but it's called like the Ulufala. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
Uh, that they were giving it off to him, but I was just like, oh man, like they're just old. Like it's like they're just up in age already, and it's
yeah.
just like, oh man. So and just recently, like not that long ago, Roman Reigns' father, Sika, passed away and it was just like a close gap in between the two. I think it was just like a couple months ago when fans were sharing the videos for some reason of them burying Roman Reigns' father or like clips from like the funeral. It was
Hmm.
it was super weird and kind of like disrespectful in a way, respect the dead. And but hopefully there is no controversy behind them. I feel like there isn't because they just seem like you know real honest people.
Yeah, no, it seems like I don't know, that it just happened and that's it. We move on with life, but, like death happens, but it's rest in peace, rest in power, all that to the Wild Samoans. I'm not
Hmm.
being racist. Those were his words, not mine. Wild Samoan.
No, that's their tag team name too, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
okay.
Well, that sounds pretty racist. That comes probably from a racist time. The Wild
Yeah, it's for the
Samoans.
'80s. It's
Yeah.
all racist.
Yeah. No. But moving on. Speaking of, I don't know if this is dead yet. Here's the updated All In card for next. This is next Sunday. All In, right, in London.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir. On the 25th.
Next Sunday. Wow. And here's the updated card. We have. I guess I'll start from the bottom. FTW Championship. I am the learning tree. Chris Jericho versus
Yeah.
yeah versus Hook. Wow, yeah,
Make him sound like Toad from
yeah.
Mario.
Yeah, Chris Jericho and Hook for the FTW Championship. Um, I guess. I mean that's something we haven't already seen, right?
They fought a bunch of times, but I don't know. Maybe Hook is gonna win in front of a big crowd, and Jericho's willing to like pass on stuff.
Mm.
Mm. I don't know exactly what he would pass on, but he'll pass something on.
Yeah. Hopefully,
He's giving the rub to Hook, I guess, even though they fought each other like 7 times already.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I like Hook. Like I want the best for him too.
No, Hook is badass. I wish
Hmm.
he wasn't trapped in this Groundhog Day of a match or between Jericho, but you get what you can, I guess, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Oh, I skipped over this Casino Gauntlet match for a guaranteed world title shot. What is a gauntlet match? You fight, and then if you win, you stay in it, and if you lose, you leave, and another person comes in, right? It's like one on one.
I think so, but when I hear the Casino Gauntlet match, I think of like All In for like Vegas, and now that's it's someone will correct me if it's like the Battle Royal. It's like everyone comes in, and like the Joker, the wild card comes in last. I don't know if you remember those matches. Like they'll do those sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen those. It's
Okay.
like a Royal Rumble type,
Yeah,
right?
so I'm thinking either it's a Royal Rumble or it's what you describe. It starts out with two guys, whoever wins, like a King of the Hill style match,
Hmm.
and until there's one person standing. That's what
Hmm.
I'm guessing. I think that'd be kind of cool. Just have that,
Yeah,
have it be 1 hour long to stretch out the 6 hours.
yeah. They need to fill that time, right?
Did you feel that time, man?
uh, Next year, oh, this is on the 0 hour. Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. All right, Tomohiro
Yes.
Ishii versus Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway.
What the
Uh,
fuck? I guess.
yeah, I mean that's on 0 hour. I'll probably be watching that. Hopefully, nobody gets hurt. That's all I can
I'm
say.
I want Ishii to fucking murder everybody, including the women.
I'll say he probably will fight Chris Statlander because Chris Statlander doesn't mind. She's had a lot of those indie matches where there against men, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Definitely. And I just want to see Stokely Hathaway get broken in half. I think that'd be kind of funny.
I imagine they would like break his pencil and he'd freak out and run out of the ring or something.
It's like, oh my god! But the one thing that bugs me about this, I don't know if this is just like a fan made thing, but the fact that 0 hour is like right in the middle instead of like the bottom right.
I'm pretty sure it's official, which yeah, that does make it look tacky.
Hmm. I think so too.
We have here for the TNT Championship, Jack Perry versus Darby Allen. And a coffin match. Okay, I could barely even see that it says coffin match up here.
I was just gonna ask, where did you see that at?
Yeah,
Okay,
right at the very top. Even though they have 0 hour right in the fucking middle over here, they couldn't
I
have
know.
coffin match right in the middle or across it or something.
Let me ask you this about this match. Whew, excuse me. Um, the thing that bugs me about this match is like this is their first time ever fighting. Me personally, I felt like it should have been just a regular singles match because it's their first time fighting each other ever, like since the company's been around. But it's like the first match you're gonna have them in together as a coffin match. I feel like that should have been like a best out of three match, with this match being the final match.
That would have
You know
been
what I'm talking
cool.
about?
Yeah, yeah, that would have been pretty epic.
Yeah, instead of this being like a, I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be like the first match. I don't know. It's kind of odd that it's the first match, and then for them to have like another singles regular match like right after this. I'm pretty sure sometime down the road. Like I'm pretty sure this feud is gonna continue, but that's just me being nitpicky.
Well, no, you're right because they should have. It's like you do the coffin match, and then what are you gonna do? Regress and just go to a singles match? You got to like up it again, and how are you gonna up that when you've
Hmm.
already like had what the 5-on-5 rumble in the stadium matches where they set them on fire and all this shit? Like, how are you gonna up this match? Like
I know. I was like, you literally set the dude on fucking fire. Like, what else can you do? I want Darby Allen. No, I think Jack Perry will probably do it. I want him to pull out a fucking gun, right? And just blasts his fucking kneecaps like mid coffin drop. And then when he closes the coffin, just unload that full clip into the coffin. But it's like those secret coffins where it's like, he's moved out the way, like, he's rolled out the way. Like, oh my god, they killed Darby Allin. But then Darby Allin comes back on a skateboard 2 weeks later.
I want them to give one of them like D'Lo Brown's protective chest, but it's actually a bulletproof vest, and they
Oh,
do that
dude.
same spot.
Fucking, he's gonna be wearing his. Oh yeah, this will protect me. He gets fucking shot in the head.
Don't worry, it's safe. We have we went over it in
It's fun. It's
rehearsal.
fun. It's staged. We know what we're doing, man. Professional wrestling.
We had a trained stuntman on hand. I don't know, whatever. Uh, Next year, and I'm gonna go backwards here because I'll end with the MJF. But here's the final countdown: title versus career AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh,
I don't know. What do you think's gonna happen there?
man, dude, I don't know. This is the one match I'm like really excited for though, because I love both guys. Like they're fucking awesome. Um, I really want Danielson to win a championship in AEW because I honestly feel like he deserves it. But I just hear like about how like unselfish he is. Like, he's more wanting to put the other talent over and like train other people and stuff like that. And I've been hearing him in interviews saying like, "Oh, like I have to listen to my body. Like, I want to be there for my kids and stuff like that." Kind of thinking about like life after wrestling. So now I'm just thinking, dude, maybe he's gonna retire finally. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he's really up in age. Like, I don't think he's over 40.
No, I think it's more the injuries than anything that are really giving him that sort of mindset. And I mean, what's the other ultimatum, or what's the other scenario that he wins and you have Swerve Strickland lose and he's the champion for what, 5 minutes? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. Real quick, Brian Danielson, he is 43 years old.
Oh, that's when Ric Flair and DDP were in their prime.
Yeah, exactly. So technically he has another 40 years in him.
That's our truth. Our truth been that age for I don't know how long.
Dude, our truth, like, dude, that guy, he sacrificed some goats or something, dude, because he looks the
Dude.
same.
Yeah, he's got that adrenochrome in him, like default. No, I hope I just hope Danielson stays safe, but I feel like he has been prepping everyone with the talks of his retirement, so I feel like he's gonna let Swerve, not let Swerve beat him, but lose, and Swerve's gonna get put over, and it's
Hmm.
gonna be a good match. I hope it's a good match. I hope he stays safe.
Yeah, I hope so too. Same here.
Here in AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Tony Storm versus Mariah May. I hope there's more girls making out, but I'm sure Mariah May's gonna. I feel like Mariah May is gonna win after all this.
I think so too. This is one of the best storylines heading into All In, as compared to the match we just talked about before, the Danielson and Strickland. But I honestly feel like Tony Storm's been doing some of the best stuff in her career. Um, I was I saw a post the other day on X when they were talking about Tony Storm when he first showed up. When she first showed up, how she was like decent on the mic, but like a fucking workhorse, like in the ring. And now she's just like one of the best promos like in the whole company. Like her vignettes, like they're pretty top tier. The way she's been presented. I'm not gonna lie, when she first started doing like the timeless stuff, like I was scratching my head because I just didn't understand it. But then again, I haven't sat down to watch AEW in a long time, like a regular Dynamite, because work reasons. But I could give credit where credit is due. It's like, dude, she's kicking ass right now, and especially with like Mariah May, she's doing like really good as far as like the manipulation stuff as well.
Hmm.
And this is the other match that I was pretty excited for. I think pretty much like all the top four matches on this picture here that I'm willing to watch. You know, and that's
Yeah,
already half the matches. None well, until they put another 20 in.
I'm about to say at least a third or fourth of them until they add more. No, I agree with you. I would even go as far as to say I don't even care between Mariah May and Tony Storm how the match goes. I'm more invested in the story. Where like I'm not even like, I want to watch that match for its in ring talent. I want to
Mm-hmm.
watch it more for what'll go down, like who's gonna win, because I'm actually care about the story more than the match.
I know, and
You
it's so weird. Like we never really say that about AEW either.
know?
Like,
No.
and
It's
it's
always
like
the opposite.
yeah, we don't try to dog on them at all, but it's like they kind of just do it to themselves sometimes.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean I'm okay with either or whoever's winning. If I had to choose one, probably Mariah May.
I imagine Mariah May is going to get put over, and I mean Tony Storm. Yeah, she's going to lose the belt, but she's going to stay just as popular, and it's actually going to make Mariah May more of a star in her own
Mm-hmm.
like light. So that's the way I feel like talent should be. Like putting over the younger talent, unlike the learning tree or anything else.
Or Ric Flair.
Yeah. No, the next. Well, again, we're not going in order here because there's really no order yet because they haven't finished. These are just a few matches. The TBS Championship, Mercedes Monet versus Dr. Britt Baker DMD for the belt. What do you think of this match?
I kind of want it to be a shoot match because I know supposedly like they've been like really shitting on each other lately, and it's going on the line of like whether it's shoot or work. And I kind of like that, but then again, it's like I kind of don't like that because I feel like it's kind of unprofessional when you're trying to like present yourself and the company as like, oh, this is like we're the best wrestler, but you're not willing to work with like the other person like you're going up against. But I kind of want to see what happens though. It's gonna be interesting. I don't really have like who I want to win. Uh but if I had to choose, probably Monet because she has creative freedom and she's probably gonna win the men's title as well, like in a couple of months.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, I feel bad. I don't feel bad for Britt Baker, but I do because you're going against a woman with creative control. So it's like, how do you win that? I don't think she can win that in any way. Like even if she does win the match, maybe it's gonna be like because of DQ, because of Camille or something like.
Hmm.
So I don't see it really benefiting her, really benefiting, I don't know, anyone, because I just know Mercedes has all that control over what happens, and Britt has really I mean, from all the rumors we've been like circulating and stuff, just been a real negative presence. So that's not like that squeaky wheel doesn't get the grease in this way. She's not gonna, well, I'm gonna win the belt now because I've been a bitch and angry and complaining the whole time. Like, nah, they're just gonna bury you even more.
Yeah, after hearing about all this news, it's like, man, what such a negative presence like that you're dealing with right now, and just to be so problematic, like it doesn't help anybody. Like that's a red flag from Britt Baker, but then for Mercedes Monet, it's just like like you already told us, like I guess like your contract that you have, that creative freedom, and in your first two matches, you already won two title belts. Like that should say something, Like the end of the day, she's gonna book herself like Perk Angle, like TNA 2008 with all the fucking belts, like both tag teams, the X Division belt, the World belt, World Championship. That's how I feel like she's trying to present herself as. But it just sucks that she already announced that she has that creative control, and it doesn't just help the fact it's like, oh well, she's probably gonna win then. And then that's what my thought process is too. Is like if Mercedes wins, I'm just like, oh well, of course she won because she has creative freedom. Like she booked herself to win. Or if Britt Baker, which is like, oh my gosh, she won because like she complained her way to win a championship. And I mean, I want them to be good because they're good performers, they're good wrestlers, and I just hope it's a good wrestling match. That's all I can really say.
But I also say, because both of us have been in positions like jobs, and not comparing our jobs to their jobs, but I'm saying we've both been in jobs where our boss is like a piece of shit and just lets everyone do whatever they want, and then we try to complain or get angry, like in the same shoes of Britt Baker, and of course, like you think it's in private, but it gets out in this space, So, like, can you really blame Britt Baker? I'm trying to be on her side and show her you know, uh, some karma, good karma. Can you really blame her for being like angry about the way all this is going down in the women's side? Because
Hmm.
like I don't know, I'm trying to like find some good karma in that for her, and I'm saying like, do you think can you blame her for being like a bitch? You know what I mean about it?
Yeah, to a sense, it's like I think the same way as well, as well. But when I hear the story about how she was complaining about MJF and Osprey for having that really long fucking match, and just to be like so negative about it to his fiance, MJF's
Yeah.
fiance, that I'm just like, bro, like, why? What is it that you're complaining about? Like, do you know like who you're complaining to? Like, do you really think there's not going to be any like repercussions for your actions? I don't know. It's just hard for me to root for somebody here. But if I really had to choose, I think Monet is going to win just because of the creative control that she
Yeah.
has.
No, that's like I completely agree with that. Or she's gonna lose, but she's gonna keep the title because of Camille in some way.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, that's the way I'm thinking. And last year on the matches we have announced, AEW American Championship, MJF versus Will Osprey. How do you think this? Have they faced off before?
That's the one that went almost an hour.
Oh, why? Why the fuck? That makes me feel so bad that I forgot. How are they supposed to top that then? Like
I don't know, dude. I'm hoping for like a Phoenix Splash 630 off of the fucking stadium, bro.
the most banned move in sports entertainment.
Oh
Nah,
yeah, oh yeah. He's gonna land that fucking Tiger Driver. That's what I
yeah,
want.
that's the storyline, right? The kangaroo kick into a tiger driver. Uh,
The kangaroo kick. Let me see.
nah, I feel bad now forgetting all about that match, but I'm just like here thinking, oh, okay, have they faced off before? Well, wait, well, how are they supposed to top off that match if this is just a regular match?
um, I am looking at Wikipedia because the more we talked about this, yes, okay, they added two more matches last night.
Did they?
I remember because I remember I thought I had dreamt this shit, but I had to look up what was going on. So breaking news:
Mhm.
uh, there was two more matches added, which was the Young Bucks, of course, versus FTR and
Of
the
course.
Acclaimed in a
Oh, let's
three-way
throw the
tag team
acclaim in
match for
there.
the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
Huh. I wonder who's gonna win that. I feel like I don't know who would win that. Probably FTR or Young Bucks would regain.
That's my thing with this match too. Okay, so the way they built up to this match was because they were having like a how do you say like
It has to be no DQ, right? Because it's a three way.
I think so. I mean, every
Yeah.
match is no DQ at this point. But I think they were having like a tournament style match to determine the new tag team to face the Young Bucks at All In, and it was FTR versus the Acclaimed, and this just happened last night at a Collision, and that I think that was the main event. They had their match. Supposedly, a lot of people liked the match, and it went into a draw, like a time
Mm.
limit draw. So because of that, oh, both teams are just gonna face the Young Bucks. I guess that makes sense. But to in a way, too, it's like you've already had FTR versus the Young Bucks so many fucking times, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people right now are already shitting on the Acclaimed, saying that like their gimmicks fucking boring, like everyone hates it, whatever. It's like that's what people say, but they're still doing the fucking scissoring, you know? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Um, then the other match that is, oh my god, this is gonna be crazy. A four-way London ladder match for the AEW World Trios Championship.
Oh Lord.
It's the Patriarchy, which is Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne, who are the
Okay.
champions, versus the Bang Bang Gang, which is Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn, which is the Guns, versus House of Black, which is Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, versus another tag team they haven't announced yet.
Huh.
And I mean, that sounds cool, but it's like that's what they did last year, right? Because they had a Anarchy in the Arena match last year. I'm trying to remember who the fuck was in it. That was that already last year?
Yeah. No, I imagine.
Holy shit! Yeah, that was because I remember Danielson was part of that, and the Blackpool Combat Club, right? The BCC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were part of that match as well. I guess it's just they gotta have like one match. Oh wait, well no, there's two matches with stipulations because I forgot about the fucking coffin match. Uh, so I guess they need a ladder match, which it is what it is, and I guess they want to do the trios championships to try to pack as many performers in there, and they haven't announced it yet, but I think they're trying to tease Okada versus Claudio match at All In as well, which that would actually be pretty fucking awesome.
Is that for a title or no?
For whatever belt Okada has, I think it's a Continental.
Oh yeah, he does have a belt, right? They gave him a belt like pretty immediately when he came in.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
was like, who at the international? Oh, you know what? It was MJF, but he changed it to the
the
American
American.
Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's fucking funny. That's actually funny. That has me cracking up.
Well, that's all in. I mean, as of now, I'm sure we'll go over it, again next week before it shows,
Mhm.
or after. I don't know. Well, it's on Sunday, so probably before.
Yeah.
Uh, what was I going to? Oh, we were going to go into MJF because I know MJF's been doing some interviews. All I want to say to all these matches and like all those ladder matches and shit like that. I hope everyone stays safe. That's all I can
Nope.
really advocate for.
I agree with you, man. I hope there's no fucking Canadian destroyers. I'm a buy this pay per view, and I'm gonna make a tally of how many Canadian destroyers I see in this fucking match or in this pay per view altogether.
Where's Orange Cassidy? He's got to be in this too. He's probably in the gauntlet match or something.
Yes, it says so on Wikipedia. It says Orange Cassidy versus All, and it says Casino Gauntlet match.
Oh Lord! Don't tell me he's gonna win the entire gauntlet match. Jesus
I don't
Christ!
know, dude, but of course you gotta have Orange Cassidy on there, man, because
Yeah,
that's fucking Tony Khan's shadow right there.
have him and then Danhausen come out from under the ring when they try to grab a ladder and he does a curse and
Dude, where the fuck has Danhausen been?
I don't know. I just saw like a thing that said "Happy Birthday, Danhausen." He just had a birthday. I don't know how old
Oh,
he
from
is.
CM Punk, right? It was from CM
Yeah,
Punk.
I think so.
Yeah, and he said "fuck you," "fuck you, Hausen" or something like that.
I mean, I don't hate any of those. It's just like I don't know. It gets to a point where it's like they're oversaturated,
Nah, I feel you. I totally understand.
But moving on with the MJF news, we have some interviews that MJF did. Let me see if I have the audio for this one where he talks about it. MJF. Let's see. Oh, I'm loading here. So it says here MJF on the reported backstage incident in
Smell
AEW.
test. Okay.
Oop. MJF on the reported backstage incident in AEW with Britt Baker. So here, let's hear him talk about it.
Hey, tell me if this passes the smell test, okay. Asshole? I barge into a woman's locker room. I scream in the face of an 110-pound woman, and then I physically threaten her by punching a wall in her vicinity, and I don't get suspended. Does that pass the smell test to you? I don't think there was enough corrections because almost everything that was written didn't happen. Okay. I have a feeling that this was blown out of proportion because all of the English wrestling commentary places that make money off of people like me, who are far more rich and talented and handsome and humble, need clickbait. I can sit here and I can tell you that Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné at Wembley on August 25th is going to be an epic match. And we should all be excited to watch it. I don't have to like all my coworkers, and that's fine. But yeah, dude, that was wild to read. Hey.
So yeah, MJF is saying, addressing the backstage shit that that it was wild to read, that it's just rumors. What do you think of that?
I mean, I do believe him to a sense. It's like, especially when he says, "Oh, like of course you're gonna have coworkers you don't like." It's just like, "Ooh, that I felt that. Oh man."
Even women, especially women, especially women. Jesus.
But did you end up seeing this interview? I actually saw it last night, and I took some notes that I could go over.
No, go over the notes because I didn't watch this one. I watched the other one where he was talking to those two dudes, and I'll show that in a little while. Where he was talking about he was talking more shit about the British clickbaits, but then he was saying about the tickets sold and all that, and he's just talking shit to these British YouTubers.
The Wrestle Purist, right? I think
that's
was
the one
YouTube
I
channel.
watched.
Okay, I didn't watch that one. I watched this one where this video's coming from, and but going off what MJF said, it's like I kind of do believe him in a sense because that does sound kind of crazy. The way he explains it, either he's doing a really fucking good job at like playing it off, or maybe it is true, but it does sound like because we talked about it too. It's like, man, he did all this bad shit and he didn't get suspended. Like he barged into a women's locker room and punched a wall, and the way I imagine it was like there's like women dressed up like oh my god, like what are you doing in here? And they're like,
fainting and shit.
Fucking angry. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I was imagining, And then the next week when we recorded again, like there was more information like, oh, he didn't do that. Like he went really far away, and he knocked so that way he could come in, and like he was just so more polite about it, and that Britt Baker was the one stirring up like this drama. But when he explains it here, it just kind of makes it seem like, okay, that does make sense. And the way he fucking like discredits like British like the British wrestling community, and just talks shit about it. It's like, oh, like of course you're not gonna report that because like it's not clickbait. Like y'all need y'all's clicks, it's whatever. And just like, holy shit, man, that's just hilarious to me. So I did watch this last night, including another podcast, which I think we're going to talk about in a little bit. That Giselle and I, we watched this together, and dude, we are just cracking up the whole time because MJF plays the perfect fucking asshole. Where he just talks about like, oh, like why the fuck is there no air conditioning in here? Is that why you're so miserable around here? Like, like just talking shit to Jack the Jobber, and Jack the Jobber's like, oh, well, yeah, like, yeah, that's what. Like, he just looks uncomfortable, but it's so fucking funny. With the notes that I have, it's he talks about like the different types of like media that report wrestling there, how he says like it's hard for them to like separate reality from like whatever's fictitious and inaccurate, but it's like whatever gets them the clicks, like whatever gets them the views, like whatever gets y'all by, I guess. He talks about how soccer is a joke, He's like, you don't even have to be rich to play this sport. He's like, you could be poor, and all you need is a ball, and you walk around, and someone touches you, you get a flag, and then he's like, a card. He goes, what did you say? He's like, no, they don't get flags like America. He goes, oh, so it's worse than regular football. Yeah, football in America, like it's a lot better than whatever the fuck y'all got over here. Talking mad shit about it. Um, he was talking about Osprey for a little bit, but I don't know if you talk like if we had mentioned how Will Osprey talks about how open he is like with his autism.
Yeah, we talked about that one time where he's like dyslexic and this and that, and yeah, his autism.
So he calls him. He called Will Osprey slow, like. He goes, like say that he is one of the best performers in the world. He's all, but what is this? He's all, what's this right here? He points to his belt that he has on the table. No, oh, that's the American champion. Exactly. He's all, and how did I beat that? It's like I beat Will Osprey to get this belt. He's all, so how does that make him the best in the world if I'm the one that beat him for this same championship? I was like, I get it. He's a little slow. It takes a long time for him to understand. Me and Giselle are just like, holy fucking shit, dude. This is hilarious. This is one of the greatest things I ever heard,
Mm-hmm.
He goes on to roasting just the UK in general about their food. And he's like, what the fuck? He's all like, in America, like we got so much original food over there and stuff. He's all, over here in the UK, like, what is it that y'all have? Like, do y'all even use seasoning for y'all's food? And then Jack the Jumper goes, yeah, we use gravy. And then MJF is just like, are you fucking telling me that gravy is the same as seasoning? So on my notes, I have gravy equals seasoning, question mark?
No, I've never. I didn't get to the privilege of watching this. I have to watch it now. But yeah, he's been laying it on to these British fucking people really bad.
Please watch this one. I think it's from like a few days ago. Like it just happened within like the last like week or two. There's a quote I got here. It says, "Cultaholic tries to make my company look like shit." And
he's not wrong.
Yeah, and one of the last things here, or the couple last things I have here, another quote is like, everything written did not happen as far as like, the Britt Baker drama stuff, like just kind of like water under the bridge, like how he explained it here. Another note that I took is that he would murder Joe Hendry.
That was brought up, a question? That's crazy.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, like everything that's happening in the wrestling community, like, what do you think about Joe Hendry? He's all, oh no, Joe Hendry, like he seems like a good kid and everything, but I would murder Joe Hendry. Like I would murder him. This was like toward like the last bit of it, and toward like the as far as like the last segment where he plugs in like what he wants to like promote whatever. Of course, like he promotes the match, but before he does that, it's weird because he sounds so sincere when he talks about AEW. He's all legit, like I said, this is where the best wrestle, not because it's like, oh, like I'm just talking out my ass, like that's actually what I do believe. He's all even though like I'm talking shit about everybody, like I talk shit about Chris Jericho, like Danielson, Strickland, Britt Baker, like these are like my colleagues who I wish nothing but the best for. And like it was very like humanizing to see, because you're so used to seeing like MJF like the character, but he's like naming off the roster, saying like, oh, like they're a fucking great performer. He's all, fuck, like if I could, like I would name all the wrestlers. He's all, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna name all the wrestlers. I have them under my contacts. And then Jack the Jobber's just like, oh no, like we gotta wrap it up. He's like, no, I got all day. So he starts reading the names off like on his contacts and stuff. But yeah, he was like very open with, or like very genuine and sincere when he's talking about the company. Like he does seem super passionate about it, which I was just like, wow, that's kind of just like nice to see, like he really does believe it is like where the best wrestle. And it's kind of good to see that he does want to see that company exceed and be successful, which is in the end, we talk shit about AEW for like their questioning booking and some of the matches
Mhm.
they do, whatever, whatnot. But in the end, I don't know about you, but it's like I do want to see their success because it's always good to have like a second, like high rated company to promote that competition because competition is always good between the two, as far as like compared to WWE.
Yeah, of course. I want to see them fail. It's just so easy to knock on them whenever they do things like that we question all the time, or why this or why that. And it's not that I mean to like hit beat a horse while it's down or whatever they say, but it's like kind of do it to themselves at times. And there's people like MJF that or Tony Storm where it's like, okay, that's something I actually want to see. But as far as like the promotion in whole, we make fun of like these long pay-per-views, or like, man, they do the booking on the fly and it just makes no sense, or we wonder why are they doing that. It makes us not want to watch the show.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, this interview is great. You should totally watch it. The one I do need to watch is the Wrestle Pierce ones because the main clip I saw is probably the one you're gonna bring up right now.
I have the one about the tickets sold.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is from Wrestle Purist, he said, and he talks about how many tickets were sold because they're saying, oh, it was this much, right? But he's like, nah, y'all got the numbers wrong, I think. So we'll listen to this one right here.
Yeah, he got a tattoo of the attendance figure.
He did.
Of All In.
He did.
That first one.
And then British aggregating YouTube sites put up falsified information that was pushed by PR from another wrestling company. And then that information had to get retracted. So it turned out his tattoo actually did have the right number. And he almost had to get it removed because of aggregating British website journalists.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched this one and like he just shits on these two guys like the whole time about being British and how their information, like is just for clickbait, and how it gets pushed to other, like their headlines get picked up by other journalists who then use those headlines. So it's just this like regurgit. There we go, right on time.
There he goes, right on time.
Man. 2:00. Nah, he's a little early. It all becomes like a regurgitation of these headlines to where it's like enough people are reporting it. It must be a fact, even though it's just like a made up story or assumption or something.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, like how, like what are your sources? Dave Meltzer,
Yeah.
Wrestle Purist. It's like, bro, that's kind of not helping you, man. I don't know,
No,
it still
because
sounds fake to me.
it'll be like, oh, I have 7 different sources, and they're all sourced from like one other source, and then it was just an opinion. It wasn't
Uh-huh.
it wasn't a fact. There was just like sources say, what are those sources? Like it's just a bunch of he said, she said, and yeah, no, that's all he's trying to say, especially with these British ones, because they seem to pick up on the stories first, and then or even run with what anyone else says, like the Wrestling Observer.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's just so funny seeing MJF like put him in their place.
In an American, with the American title and an American sweater or
I know the
jacket.
fucking what's that? The type of scarf that he has? What's that style he has? But not burgundy. Is it burgundy?
Maybe
Oh man, he
plaid.
not plaid. It's a different type of style. It is like a scarf. Because I remember when he had the AEW championship, like he changed it to like the triple B. It was like the big something belt, but it's like some style. I don't think it's burgundy. Oh man, it's gonna bug me for the rest of the day. I don't remember.
Well, anyone in the comments, you can try to unbug Gabe here. But yeah, other than that, that was mostly just that interview. I have another interview here from Sean Ross Sapp, or just like not an interview, but him just saying alludes to issues between Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and said these two working together might not be possible. and it's the same thing as we're talking about. Let's just take a listen to the clip.
Yeah, I don't know if there will be any integration with Britt Baker. I feel like that ship has sailed interpersonally for those two.
Okay.
Is as best I'll say there.
See, and he's saying this, about Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, but where is he getting this information from? It's just his own opinions, right?
Yeah. And then everyone's going to think, oh, like he's one of the writers for Fightful. Like, oh, it must be true,
that's just that's like taking our word. Like, that's all kayfabe. Reported first, and then it's like, okay, like he's just another fucking brick in the wall of fucking news. It's not even news. It's just technically, like, I don't know, gossip sites almost.
Yeah, it's nothing but speculation. That's really what it is.
No, it's crazy, and that's all I really had from that. I don't know about what your opinions are on Sean Ross Sapp, other than I know we were talking about him wanting to fight a bunch of Twitter followers and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I guess just like a bunch of internet trolls just talk shit to Sean Ross Sapp, and he ended up confronting one of them. I think this was like some time ago, like a couple, like within the past few years, but he confronted them, and like the dude backed off, saying like, "Oh, bro, like I was just kidding, whatever, blah blah." It's like, man, social media has given everybody an opinion, which is good to have an opinion, but it's just like when it gets to the point where it becomes like cyberbullying, or like a massive audience that are trying to like attack you, it's kind of like ridiculous. I'm trying to think of the proper like terminology to be using here, but it's like everyone has an opinion and they think they're right, and they'll fucking like be shitty to try to make their opinion established even though it is wrong, or just want to be a fucking asshole in general, like it because you're hiding behind like a computer screen. It's like I don't get it too much. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, it is what it is.
And we're just talking about wrestling. Like, this is just like, there's this pertains to all like things in life, like politics and how to raise your kids and everything else. And we're just talking about wrestling. That's a little community compared to the whole thing, but it's just as toxic in here with people and their opinions, and they think they're facts and they don't want to listen to anyone else, or how tribal they are. It's just,
just to be offended just because you can choose to be offended, like it makes me think of that chick from Australia, I think, the breakdancer, and like she was getting a bunch of fucking death threats, and then she had to make a post on X or like on social media talking about like, oh, she's sorry for like letting her country down, but please stop sending death threats. It's like,
that's terrible.
Dude, like, do you care that much about breakdancing to be making death threats to a performer? It's ridiculous, like, props to them for having the gall to like go out there and perform, like, of course, like, it wasn't good, whatever, but just to like to take it to that extent, like, that is ridiculous to me. Like, the only time you give a fuck about Olympics or swimming or a fucking triathlon is only every fucking 4 years. That's the only time y'all fucking care about it. Majority of Americans, like, they don't give a fuck about soccer until the World Cup or until the Olympics. Like, those are the only fucking times. And it's fucking like tribalism, like people act like fucking Neanderthals, like, oh, you're not good at breakdancing because this country won at fucking breakdancing. And then it's just like a fucking clash of heads that it's not necessary. It's just fucking breakdancing. Like, literally, no one's complained about this ever since like the 90s.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going off of yours too, is that like I would get you being upset, a person, if like all you ever talked about was breakdancing, and then you were like, oh, it's gonna be at the Olympics, and then you see this and you're like, oh, this is terrible. This is but for you to never talk about breakdancing in your fucking life, look at your past history. You've never, you don't even know how to break dance. You've never break dance. You've never talked about it, and suddenly you have an opinion. What makes me care what your opinion is? In that event.
Exactly, man. Quick question before we move on. Like going back to wrestling, do you have like a news source or like a podcaster that you see yourself going back to just like for the enjoyment of it? Or you feel like, oh, like this must be like legitimate, like this is what I'll go get my sources from?
As far as podcasting goes, I'll go to Jim Cornette just for the entertainment.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like that's pretty much it. There's this other one I would do, was like the wrestling news, and they were pretty unbiased whenever they would report it.
Mhm.
And that's like a daily podcast. But really, I just see myself going to Twitter and seeing, because I'll bookmark a lot of stuff. You'll send me stuff, so I'll look at multiple sources showing multiple things from multiple angles, and you can kind of see the way certain people want to twist things. But I never jump the gun. Like I never see a report and I'm like, oh, that one is the one like I'm going with. I'm like even with you, when I send you some stuff, I wait till it's fully reported on, or there's
Mhm.
like a reputable source, and then I'll be like, okay, check this out. You know what I mean? Like otherwise, it's just nothing to me. But podcast, like entertainment, really, it's like the Undertaker, Cody Rhodes' new podcast or whatever.
Oh, that one's
It,
so good.
yeah, really, it's just entertainment. It's not even like news source.
Yeah, and I agree with you too. On my Twitter, X, whatever, I do follow a lot of wrestling accounts that promote whenever there's an event going on, that they'll live tweet and stuff. Just in case if I can't see a pay per view or a PLE or whatever, like I'll be there updated anyway. But one thing I notice is they all kind of report the same thing. So it's like, oh, MJF shits on British news, wrestling news, tabloids, whatever. And I'll see the same fucking post from 5 different accounts on my Twitter page, And then I'll go to my For You page, and it's some of the most toxic fucking cesspool I've ever seen in my life, because I go there to see, oh, maybe there's other wrestling news that I can share with you, like for the podcast. And it's just people with like fucking shit takes opinions and claiming X wrestlers racist, or this wrestler's misogynistic, or oh, like we gotta talk about Cody Rhodes' title reign, or like Cody Rhodes would be better if he was more buff, or man, AEW is perfect. Like who's there to talk about AEW being liars? And it's like I don't. The internet wrestling community, it's like the problem with the internet wrestling community. It's itself,
Mhm.
and it's just like it's just so fucking toxic. It's cringe, but it's like that's where I get my news from. It's like because I want to see what we could have a conversation about, like for the podcast and stuff. As far as like news sources, it's like I feel like every news source that reports it, people are always constantly like shitting on them, like, oh, like you don't know that, like how do you know that's true? It's just like, dude, like where else? Like maybe they are backstage, getting this information. I don't know, but it's like those are the same people that fucking take like Dave Meltzer's word as like, as like the Ten Commandments, like fucking set in stone, like these fucking matter. And I think that's ridiculous, and that's just like one man's opinion. Um, and like you said as well, going off of what you said, you wait until like more details are out about it before you send it, or like before we report on it, just because we don't want to assume, like with the MJF Britt Baker story, it's like, maybe there's just more info like we don't know, because it sounded like there was more information that we didn't know, and sure
Yeah.
enough, like the whole story is out. Um, but to like podcasters, oof. Oh my god, I had a bone in my throat. I'm sorry. As far as like podcasters that I do enjoy, like you said, the new Cody Rhodes one, that one's really good. I haven't seen Undertaker yet, but I heard that one's like kind of funny.
Mhm.
Even though we talked about him sometimes, I do like Chris Van Vliet videos.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's kind of weird, but he's a nice interviewer.
hmm Yeah, he is a definitely nice interviewer. And as far as like other podcasts and stuff, I don't think I've really go out of my way to see other podcasters. You know what I mean? Well, at
Mhm.
least like any that I like, because I used to really be into like Steven Larson, like Going in Raw, but I just kind of fell off with them like a few years ago. I'm still subscribed to them. Same thing with like Cultaholic Wrestling. I know they're very like fucking clickbaity, like with their titles and like their video descriptions and stuff like that. And I understand it's to get them fucking views. It's like the meta on YouTube, whatever. But the main reason why I followed them was because that whole group left What Culture Wrestling, and then they started Cultaholic, and I was a fan of What Culture Wrestling, especially when they made their own like wrestling promotion. But now I'm just like, man, dude, it's like everyone's taking like Meltzer's like opinion for like as the fucking Bible, like that is God's word. Like y'all need to listen to this. And I don't know. It's like the one thing I could just take away from this is just do research on it, form your own opinion, have a formal discussion about it. Like that's all you can really do.
Yeah, it seems like the ones that do report on like the news are biased. Like
hmm
they either swing this way or swing that way. They aren't like in the middle. Um, what is it called? Neutral. They're either like fans of one promotion or fans of the other. They don't really report it in a neutral way. They always like, oh well, here's AEW again with this, or positive spin, or WWE tampering with AEW. Da da da. Here they go again. The big Fed versus the smaller promotion. So
hmm
they have already picked a side pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. It's just cringy to me, man. It's like they want to talk about, oh, this company's doing like contract tampering. It's like, oh, well, WWE's been doing it for years. Like, no one says fucking anything. It's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. That's just how business is done. It's
Hmm.
like, I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know what happens behind the scenes to like contract tampering for me to like care that much about it. I like,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. As a fan, like,
mhm,
do I really need to know everything in a person's contract to be like, well, I'm not gonna watch them wrestle now because they
mhm.
have this or that, even though it kind of does ruin things. Like, let's say Mercedes Monet, we know she has creative control, or she even told everyone she does, essentially, in so many words out of her own mouth. So it's like, okay, we can kind of guess like how these matches are going to go now, so it kind of ruins things.
It does. It's like I just wish there was that curtain that separated like the IWC from the realities backstage, like for the bigger promotions and stuff. Because now everyone thinks they know so much about wrestling and stuff. And I remember when I first started getting really big into like, looking up like wrestling news and stuff like that to see what was happening, like with contracts or like who did WWE sign, who did Ring of Honor sign, stuff like that. Um, oh fuck, where was I going with this? When I was first like getting into it, like it was just so crazy, like saying like, oh man, now I'm using the same terminology as like the people in Gorilla like would use. And now I just find it so cringy where it's just like, oh, like people call you a mark. It's like, why are you calling me a mark? It's like I'm a fucking fan of wrestling. I guess I am. Like, is there something so wrong with that? I don't get it. I honestly
Yeah,
don't.
no, dude, the world's all weird. Like, and it's not just with wrestling; it's with everything else. But even just in this little pocket corner that we have with wrestling, even though it's predetermined,
hmm
it's still such a controversy, or like it's crazy what it can be for it not technically being a real, a
Mhm.
performance.
It's like you thought wrestling was real. It's fake, man. Like the UFC.
like the political office voting, it's not real.
Oh yeah, dude, that shit never fucking existed.
Uh-huh. We do have another interview. Well, there was a few more interviews we had. One here was on Impulsive with Dominik Mysterio. And Dominik Mysterio says his wife understands separating real life from WWE. He says the first text she said following Rhea Ripley licking his face was to let him know they had a tarantula in the garage. Did you watch the Impulsive interview?
I watched it last night, right after the MJF one.
That was pretty entertaining.
It was entertaining, man. It's like as much shit as I talk about Logan Paul. I don't know the name of his friend that they had there. Do you know his
Oh,
friend's name?
no, who cares though? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't remember his name.
but like the way they go off of each other, it kind of reminded me of like like the way I go off with my friends, or like the way me and you would go off each other when we'd be recording or just talking about something,
Hmm.
So I kind of like that. I just thought it was the one thing that made me like roll my eyes, where I'm just like, where his friend was like, "Oh man, like who would you choose between your real wife and your work wife? Like if we had to choose between the two," and Dominic's just like, "My wife." Like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, "Oh, you're doing it for the bait, right?" He's like, "My work wife." They're like, there we go. That's what we wanted.
No, this, yeah, the whole interview like actually entertained me, and it made me like Dominic more, because
Yes.
I've never really liked him, and I've never the obviously the WWE universe has never really given like anyone an opportunity to like him, because they just boo the shit out of him. So like
Hmm.
he does that really well, which he's a good heel. But this whole interview made me like him, because he's actually kind of funny, you know what I mean, and kind of an
Yes.
asshole.
Yeah. No. Definitely. I took a couple notes here. Um, my top two notes are he uses shampoo and conditioner every day. And I'm like, that's crazy, dude. His hair looks great. And it's like,
Yeah,
dude,
that's great.
compared to me, it's like I'm just starting to skip a day and I'm fucking balding as it is. And then my second note is that he loves In and Out. And
Oh, no,
well, he's
I
from
don't know.
California.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah, do you
true.
like In and Out?
I tried it once when they made the first one here in town.
Uh-huh.
I forget where it's at. It's somewhere here on the south.
Yeah,
Uh,
Walzum, I think.
yeah, that
Hmm.
first one. I tried it. I didn't really wasn't into it, but the burger, like, whenever it got brought to me, was like already cold and shit. So
Oh,
I
okay.
have, yeah. I'm not gonna rule out that it's like good. I've just, my first experience with it was
Hmm.
not good, and then we have Whataburger here, so you know.
Yeah, I was talking to Giselle about that last night, because as far as like In and Out, they have a good burger. They have a good solid burger. Their fries are fucking ass. Like they're terrible. It's like, I would rather eat cardboard with some salt, and they would taste better than those fucking fries.
Mm-mm.
And the burgers are good. And then they were like in this podcast, they were talking about, oh, like Whataburger's ass, whatever. And I just look at Giselle, I was like, I don't know, dude. I think I'm kind of tired of like the In and Out versus Whataburger like debate, I guess, because it's like, don't get me wrong, I do like Whataburger, but they fuck up on my order so many fucking times. It's like I could just go to Burger Boy, and like Burger Boy's fucking good. They never fuck up on my order or anything like that. Like, plus their shakes are fucking top tier. Like it's just so fucking good.
I don't know. I've just always liked Whataburger, and
Mhm.
rarely do they mess up on my order. And if I do want like a good burger, I'll just go to Whataburger. Like if I have the money, I'll go to Whataburger. But In and Out, yeah, I don't think it's a debate to me as far as what's better. But then again, we're from Texas. I could sway it and say
Mhm.
like, oh well, you're, yeah, of course you're gonna like Whataburger. You're from Texas, you know.
Yeah, and it makes sense. So him saying he loves In and Out over Whataburger, it's like, dude, it doesn't offend me anymore. It's child's play.
Yeah, it, to me it's just to each his own. And but there's another line he said here, and it's this man Dominik Mysterio brought up Japan to Logan Paul. Let's hear what he has to say about that.
Japan last week.
Great place.
Must
Like,
be nice.
It was really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys had fun.
We had a blast.
Yeah.
We've been hoping to go there. For some
guys
reason,
haven't been
we
to
have.
Japan?
Well,
You've never been? There's a great.
I had
like,
prior obligations.
No, you gotta go, dude.
This last time I had prior
No,
obligations.
dude,
he's
you
been
gotta-
really busy. He has been busy. He just hasn't had time to go there.
Can you go?
Bro, Dom, what do you think this? Yes, I can go to
Okay,
Japan.
I'm just making sure.
No, I can go to Japan.
I didn't know if you were like, shadow band or something.
Bro, how the oh no, I'm not.
Shadow band.
I remember there were more clips to this, and I thought I had saved them. I don't know if they took them down or something, but where he's like, "Are you like, if you go as a heel, you can wear that hat?"
Yeah, so you can wear the hat.
Yeah,
He's like, you can go as a heel. He's like, oh no, bro, you'll definitely be a heel when you go
Yeah.
over there.
and he's like, "Bro, come on, let's stop talking about
Dude,
this."
he was getting so uncomfortable, man.
Yeah.
He's like looking at his speakers like if he knew he did something wrong, you know? Oh man. But do you think like Logan Paul genuinely feels bad for that?
For that, nah, I don't think so. I think he hates when it gets brought up because he had to fucking apologize for it, like
Uh-huh.
go on camera like Travis Scott and shit, and just
I'm
be
just
like,
like,
"I'm so
oh,
sorry."
man.
Yeah, in black and white, and he just had to say he was sorry and bite his tongue, and it probably made him look like a bitch, But it was just funny that Dominik brought this up, and his buddy or Logan Paul's buddy's like cracking the fuck up, so not making it any better. Like it's making it 10 times worse
I
when someone
know.
else is there like ragging on you too. And
Nah,
you're
but
like,
for real though, he had prior obligations. Like he couldn't go this time. He's like, wait, can you go? Bro, of course I can go. Oh man, dude, that shit was so fucking funny. It's
No,
like,
that was
oh nah,
hilarious.
man, you'll be a fucking heel. The other notes I have from this is that Dominik he's second in the most matches in the company at the moment, right underneath Cody Rhodes for the year. Like I think he has like 250 matches or 200 something matches in like 200 days or something like that.
God damn.
And like Cody Rhodes has him beat by like I think like 10 or 15 matches. I forgot what the number they said it was, and I had looked it up. I don't remember. I could have stopped laughing how they kept talking about Dominik's third birthday and how Rey Mysterio wasn't there. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that part.
He was saying because he was saying, yeah, like one thing I always remember is like for my third birthday, my dad gave me a shout out, and they're like, what the fuck do you mean? He's all, yeah, like I just remember seeing a video of my dad like recording himself, and he's just like, hey, mijo, like happy third birthday, like I'm out here because he was out for work, whatever. It's like for some reason I almost remember that. And they're like, oh, bro, that's called trauma. Like, you got trauma. He goes, yeah, that's what it is, man, for my deadbeat. He was talking about the custody ladder match between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. And they're like, do you remember anything from that match? And Dominik proceeds to go, the one thing I remember is, like, everything else I blacked out because they had to tell me, like, they would tell me, like, oh, this is going to happen. And, like, Eddie was there telling me, like, oh, this is going to happen, mijo. Like, you're going to do this, and I'm going to come up to you, but don't take it seriously. And I get in the ring, and I'm shaking the ladder so that way, he can fall, and then he just looks down, and he waves no at me like that. He goes down, he's like, oh, I'm going to teach you how to be a real girl. And he's about to hit me, and then, like, my deadbeat comes in and saves the day. And, like, I'm just there, like, fucking shaking. Like, I just don't know what to do with my life. Like, what am I going to do? Like, that's the only thing I remember from that whole match was just, like, Eddie yelling at me because he's never yelled at me like that before. And it was so crazy. They're like, oh, yeah, bro, that's trauma. Like, he traumatized you.
Wasn't there a point when they were talking, like, yeah, they actually wanted to hang me from the top, or
just like in a vest.
yeah. Instead of hanging the papers, they wanted to like actually hang him instead or something.
Dude, I know, man. I was like, that's kind of scary for a fucking 8-year-old to be
Oh,
up
yeah.
15 feet. That'd be more traumatizing than Eddie Guerrero hitting me.
Yeah, especially if it was like in a platform or a little cage or something, even more traumatizing.
The one thing I could have stopped laughing at as well was that Logan Paul's friend said that he had an HVAC haircut.
Yeah,
He was,
where he
he was,
works on that shit.
yeah, it was like, oh, like heating, venting, and air conditioning. And they're like, bro, are you saying that? That's racist. And then like they made it like a whole race thing against his friend. They were like, bro, that's racist because I'm Mexican, bro. Come on, dude. He's I wrestle. His brother like, no, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, you did. That's exactly how you meant it. Oh man. This next interview, and the only thing I got from it was this clip, but I watched the whole thing. The Randy Orton on what do you want to talk about with Cody Rhodes? Did you watch the interview?
I did, yes.
It was good. Like
it was really
just him,
good.
yeah, talking about the legacy and this and that, and I don't know. The only part I got here though, and you had sent me this too, was that Randy Orton says he has 600 hours played on Elden Ring.
Oh shit!
We could listen to the clip here
since it came out. And also, let me preface this next statement with saying that I was out with spinal fusion surgery, so I had a lot of time on my hands.
Sure.
I've got like 600 hours on the game.
600 hours on Elden Ring.
Yeah. Since it came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Oh jeez, I'm so embarrassed.
No, what do you think of that? Because I know I had just recently finished beating the first Mass Effect again, and because I wanted to play it on Insanity, the hardest difficulty.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I beat the first one. It took me like 25 hours gameplay, and I'm like, that felt like a lot. But here's this dude saying he's put in 600 hours, and he's actually got a professional career. What about you? What have you the longest you put into a game, or at least
Jesus, man. I was gonna ask you this question because I was still thinking about mine. I think out of all time, I probably spent the most hours on like Guitar Hero, especially like in high school. Because Guitar Hero, I really fucking love. Played expert on all the songs and stuff like that. I wasn't good. I wasn't great, but I was good. That one I don't know how many hours I spent on because I don't think the 360 kept track of how long you played the games for. On my Xbox One, I know for a fact I probably spent like maybe like the same amount of time. Like I felt like it was probably like 1,000 hours on Overwatch when Overwatch was big time. When it wasn't like shit down to shit. That I could just say Overwatch is still one of my favorite games of all time. Not Overwatch 2 because that one's kind of ass. Well, it is ass. It just fucking fell down the drain. That was a game I spent a lot of fucking hours on. Right now for my PS5, it breaks my heart because it says it's Fortnite. And exactly, it says like 300 plus hours like on Fortnite.
Damn.
And that's like the only time I play Fortnite is like if I play with my friends, like if I play with Richard or my friend Juan, my friend Jacob, and we just want to get a multiplayer game so we can play together. Like it's usually just Fortnite. I fucking hate the game. I refuse to spend $1 on that game. I'm trying to think for like all my consoles, but I know like for my Switch, which was very surprising to me, the game I have the most hours on is Animal Crossing.
Well, that took over everyone during the fucking COVID and shit. Everyone.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. Well, not simpler times. Fucking people were dying. But man,
oh yeah, simpler times.
Just being at home, just staying up to like 3 a.m. on my Switch, just fucking fixing up my island, trying to capture tarantulas, getting all those bells because I'm in fucking millions of dollars of debt. Simpler times, dude. Honestly, that one I spent like about I think it says I logged in like 200 hours for Animal Crossing, New Horizons. I think that's what it's called.
Well, I know like Mass Effect specifically because I'm sure I played other games like Gears of War or something longer, like cumulative. But Mass Effect, I've beaten the game like the trilogy, all three, like I want to say 3 or 4 times. Plus, I'm playing it again. Plus, you have Andromeda, which I've beaten once and
Mhm.
completed. So you're looking at like 200 hours just in the Mass Effect and just playing it over and over again. It's not even like, yeah, Mass Effect 3 had some multiplayer, which I put some hours into, but the story's really where it's at. And yeah, that's all I really cared about.
For Mass Effect.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, that's badass, man. I still haven't played it. It's
it's
like,
great.
yeah, I've heard a lot of fucking good things about it. Man, you were talking about Gears of War, and I'm just like, man, what a good story. I think like in high school, it was like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, like the 2009, 2010 game. Top tier, dude. That shit was fucking great.
Yeah.
Spent hundreds of hours on that shit. Guitar Hero, Overwatch. Um, I was trying to put in a bunch more hours into Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, but I only did one gameplay of it through, and I beat it, and I think it took me like 85 hours.
God damn. Do you 100% it or was it just?
Oh, dude, fuck no. Absolutely not. So I thought I was doing a good job, and then you get down to the gloom or like to the depths, and that's just like a whole nother. I'm not about it. Fuck that shit.
Mhm.
It's okay. I'm good. But I'm gonna go back to it sometime soon and try to like go to the places like I haven't even fucking touched.
Well, no, that's the podcast, and now I know Randy Orton. Like, what else did you give? Did you take any other notes from this interview? Because I just remember him talking about like the legacy they've had with their fathers being there, and I don't know. He just Cody Rhodes was very like I don't know. He's very thankful for Randy Orton and everything that he's
Yeah,
done.
that was pretty much what it was. It's just like two friends shooting the shit, and that's kind of
Yeah.
like it's a nice podcast to listen to. Like like because Cody Rhodes, for those who haven't seen it, Cody Rhodes talks about his relationship with Randy Orton and how Randy Orton has helped establish Cody Rhodes in the wrestling business. Like they talk about their fathers and like how they were big influences on themselves for being performers. And the other note I have is the same thing that we have posted up right here is the 600 hours on Elden Ring. But it's a really solid podcast. It's a nice listen to. Like it's nothing negative or anything like that. It's just real solid. And Randy Orton has big fucking hands, dude. I don't know if you noticed.
He's just a big dude. I remember him when he was in whatever the with Ric Flair and Batista and
Well,
Triple
Evolution.
H. When he was in Evolution, he was all small, and now he's just
Uh
this huge dude, like
huh.
huge.
He had one of those. I don't know if you saw it, but it's one of those big fucking canisters. That hold liquid, but it has like the little straw that folds up, and then you just sip it, and then you can just close it back down. But it has like the latch where you can carry it on the side.
Yeah, I
It's
think
real
so.
solid. Giselle has one, and legit when I carry it, I fucking carry that shit with two hands like a fucking baby. And then with him, he just has it with one hand, and he's taking a sip like that, and just like sets it back down on the floor, and I'm just like, son of a fucking bitch, man.
No, yeah, I like this podcast, and like I said, it's not about like it's not wrestling news. It's more just Cody Rhodes shooting the shit with whomever, and it's all positive. It's him just telling them, like how great they are, and drinking Wheatley vodka, and just I don't know. It's a nice listen to anyone, any guest he's had on. I've enjoyed listening to them talk.
Wheatley, he's so good at drinking neatly.
Yeah, I'm like, what does that even mean? Neatly? Is
Neatly,
that
I
like
think it just
style?
means with the Four Loco.
Oh, okay. So you get fucked up.
Nah, you get fucked up, dude. Randy Orton had like 3 cups of like just straight vodka. I don't know if you saw that. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
But look at him. He's just like solid, huge man.
No, nothing but oh yeah, he also really loves Nutella. That's the other note I got.
Oh yeah, I remember his Wheatley. I drink it with Nutella or something.
Yeah, really so good. I drink it with Nutella.
Nutella's pretty good. It's all
I
right.
like Nutella. Yeah, Giselle doesn't care for it too much, so I usually get like the small little
Yeah.
container. It's good enough for me.
I'm more of a peanut butter man,
Mhm.
but Nutella's good if it's there and you don't have any peanut butter.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Next year I have I think a little snippet of Tony Khan. Let me see here. Tony Khan was asked if this year's AEW's last show in England, and he said they'll be in England in 2025 and 2026. So let me take a listen at this.
Final AEW show at Wembley?
No, definitely not. We love having AEW at Wembley Stadium, and we're back in 2026 in England. Absolutely, we love doing the show in England, and we will be back in England in 2026. And you can bet you'll see us there in 2025 as well. It won't be AEW All In; it'll be something different. But we've got some big plans coming up next year as well.
Okay, he looks really like something's wrong with him. He looks like I don't know.
I don't think it's him. I think it's the room he's in. He doesn't have anything on the wall.
Yeah, and then the hat. I get why he's wearing the hat, and we'll get more into it in a little while. But like, he just looks weird. The angle's weird. And then, if you're just listening, folks, Tony Khan, he's being interviewed, and he was talking about being back in England for All In and other plans. But he just looks. He doesn't look professional. He just looks like a fisherman or something, you know?
He does look like a fisherman, yeah. Like if he's getting ready for his trip and he's like, "Oh God, I got an interview with ESPN right now. Hold on, guys."
I'm a billionaire fisherman. I don't know. But what do you think about AEW bringing more shows to England? Isn't that's just a given, right? Like, of course.
It's just a given. I'm cool with that. You know, it's usually the UK has some pretty good crowds. Hopefully, this will lead to them possibly going to like other countries as well. Like maybe like I would love to see another show in France because France, that crowd was fucking hot. Like I want to see another show like that, or maybe Australia or Japan or something. But I think they're just kind of like testing their toes in the water, like as far as like like the I don't want to say foreign, like the out of country shows, like out of the U.S. shows. I'm all for it. Whatever works for them. I think the only thing weird is just like the timing that the pay per views are gonna be on. Like for the U.S. But I think the U.K.'s done that for like the whole lives, where it's like if it starts here at 7 o'clock, over there in the UK they have to be up at like midnight or like 3 in the morning to watch a pay per view.
Oh yeah, no, there you said. So we just have to deal with that ourselves. Here's Tony Khan at a different conference confirming that All In will be returning to Wembley in 2026. Let's take a listen here.
All the great things that have happened here in Texas. It's a big honor for us to come and be a big part of that Texas wrestling tradition because you see for years people have been asking when is AEW going to do a pay-per-view event in Texas? When is it going to happen? There are lots of great arenas in this state. There are a lot of great places in the great state of Texas where you can do a wrestling show. There are certainly a lot of great wrestling fans in the state of Texas. They're one of my favorite natural resources. And you can bet they're going to be loud and proud here in Globe Life Stadium when we present AEW All In Texas next year. It's going to be a very special thing. Last year, we debuted AEW All In at Wembley Stadium in London. We set the world record for pro wrestling attendance. We sold 81,035 tickets. We built a very special brand. Of course, we will be going back just 10 days from now to Wembley Stadium and celebrating All In 24. And we can't wait to bring All In 25 here. It's going to be very special. We're going to London next week, then coming to Texas. We'll be going back to London in 2026. But coming here for this event, it's very special, and it does mark our first pay-per-view event ever in Texas. It also marks AEW's first stadium show ever in America.
So, what do you think about that news?
It's kind of weird that he keeps on promoting All In for London while he's there in Texas to talk about the show in Texas.
I feel like he wants to give hope because there's not hope because of course the company's not going to go under, right?
Mhm.
The way everyone talks about it and reports it is like, oh, they're going bankrupt, they're not going to have a TV deal, they're losing money or hemorrhaging money. So I feel like he announces these shows like so ahead of time, not only because he has them booked there, but it's like he needs to give the fans hope because I feel like they believe the news media, the fake media, and the
Fake news.
the British tabloids with all the shit about them going under, them losing deals and stuff. You know.
Hmm. I agree as well. I guess my thing is that they should just be focusing on the show like they're trying to promote. Just be straight to the point. Like All In Texas is going to happen in 2025. In July, whatever. First stadium show they're going to have there in Texas, and their first stadium show that they're going to have in the U.S., which is like a big deal. And me personally, I feel like that should just be the main focus instead of like trying to promote All In London in a different
Yeah.
country. Like let that be on a separate time, because it's like you're talking about 2026. It's like okay, well, you know, and plus like the order of events too. Like he announced this. Maybe it's just me being nitpicky. I don't know that All In 2024 hasn't happened yet, but he's still talking about All In 2025. And it's like maybe he should have promoted the show first, not like at this press conference, but focus on All In 2024. And then at the end of the show, maybe midway through the show, promote All In for next year. But that's happening in Texas in July. Because I know that's usually what they do with like the WrestleManias. Like they'll talk about, well, I think, besides this year, but they'll say, oh, like next year's WrestleMania is going to be in Orlando, it's going to be in Las Vegas, and it's going to be 2 nights, whatever, like, tickets go on sale, whatever, this time. And that's it. And then when it gets closer, then they do promotion for it because I feel like there's just such a big event to be promoting. And it's such a big event to be promoting, but there's no matches announced or anything like that. There's no preparation for any matches right now because, especially too, I feel like with All In happening next week, like they're still adding matches.
Yeah.
And it's within like what 1-2 weeks notice. It's like you got Danielson and Strickland, you got MJF, Osprey, Britt Baker, Monet. The top 4 matches, and then Tony Storm and Mariah May. But like the other matches just felt like within a month, like they just been thrown together. Oh, we're just going to throw them on the card just so everyone can be on the card.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it works, man, like I do want them to sell the tickets, but we won't know until like the day of the show. Like I'm pretty sure I am going to be off next Sunday, so I think I am going to buy this pay-per-view so that way I can watch it.
And I don't know. I could see I agree with you and your picks that you're knitting, your knits that you're picking at. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like they should be concentrating one at a time. I get it though. He's promoting this kind of like the way WWE is promoting their events ahead of time, where it's going to be on this location, this big event, this location, this big event. And here's Sting tweeting out, just down the road, I'll be watching from somewhere for the AEW All In Texas. So I don't know, like I'd be, I don't know, I don't mean to be like that too negative, but there's just so many other things to worry about, like the booking of other matches, and not just booking a few big name ones and then all that filler,
Yeah.
in between, where it's
Yeah,
like
like Yeah, and it's already the norm where these pay-per-views are going to be like 4 hours long at minimum. Like, give time for your matches to be built up and give time to build proper like vignettes for them, you know? Like, why is it that I should care about Hook versus Chris Jericho for like the 5th time? Or, you know, y'all just barely announced a ladder match for the pay-per-view yesterday, which is 8 days or 9 days away from the pay-per-view. Like, that's kind of like a big thing, and I don't know. I feel like that's not enough times for the performers to like properly mentally prepare themselves for like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna be in a ladder match. Like, what spots are we gonna do? Who's gonna do what? Like, who's gonna win? You know, it's just like a lot of planning that goes into it, but like just short amount of time. And I feel like that's like not fair to the performers. Maybe they're used to it by now. I don't know. Like, you know, I want to give them the benefit of a doubt. But me personally, I feel like that's just not enough time given for them in general, you know?
Yeah, no, it sounds like they're just going up to Tony Khan. Hey, you got anything for me? Oh yeah, we'll just throw you in a ladder match. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah,
he throws darts at a wall, and sees like, oh, this team in this type of match. You know, like at random. Like, okay, I guess for these belts, okay, all right. You know, like there's no really. It seems very haphazard and not thinking about it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I wanted to be successful. There was a tweet that I looked up. Is that, you know, just them talking about like what AEW's been doing? Is that All In 2025 has announced 11 months in advance. Wembley Stadium already sold over 50,000 plus tickets, which is, you know, pretty fucking good for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in hopes that they also sign like the TV deal that they were doing with like, I think it was Warner Brothers, because there was like the speculation like, you know, Tony Khan and Warner Brothers were going to sign like a TV deal. I don't know if that's still up in the air, but hopefully it does, man, because if it benefits the company and benefits the performers and everyone else involved, like that's always a plus. Like, that'd be great. It's like, I don't want to assume this is just like all verbatim and speculation.
No, and I have here a little clip real quick from that same podcast a little while ago. Tony Khan is all but confirming that AEW will be signing a big new TV deal with WB Warner Brothers Discovery. So he's wearing a hat that says Warner Brothers Discovery. And here's a clip of him saying,
it's a great time for AEW. Like you said, I do wear this hat proudly, and a lot of exciting things coming for AEW.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he doesn't say anything, but I guess he's confirming that he's got plans with Warner Brothers Discovery.
That's why you were talking about the hat. I didn't know that's what the hat said.
It said that, and then it says here, Warner Brothers Discovery internal memo states AEW's worth is $288,265. Is that right?
Oh no, 280 million.
265,720 per year based on ad revenue and 2% of TNT carriage rates, blah blah blah. So TBS is estimated to make 91 million this year in ad revenue for Dynamite.
Damn, that sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. I don't know how much production is and how much it takes to do all that. It's not saying all that, but that sounds like they're making money.
I hope so, man. Like I said, I just want the best for them. I want that to be seen as like a positive light.
Yeah, no, I definitely want them to make it. And yeah, we're nitpicking and all this and being, critical, but it's because we want them to fucking succeed, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
This other clip here, I don't know who's this person is kind of against it, but here's Tony Khan talking about tampering, I guess, in pro wrestling.
So, Tony, I want to ask you about tampering. You can take 15 seconds for this. You've been pretty feisty on the record when it comes to WWE reaching out to contracted talent. There's all sorts of rumors out there about contracted talent presently flirting with WWE. Look, the sausage gets made in several unique ways in wrestling, but do you think, since you've gone on record trying to check WWE on some of this tampering stuff, it's gotten better or there's been no change?
That's a fascinating way to phrase the question.
Well, because I imagine you did it with intention. Like, you were a very thoughtful dude. So, like, you putting it on the record, like, stop tampering with my guys, you're sending a clear message. I'm wondering if it worked out.
I don't think that it has. I think that it's still happening. And I will reserve all rights when it comes to that, but I don't think that it's stopped. And I'll leave it at that if it's okay, but I think that'll get people talking where you probably accomplished what you were trying to do, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. So there's Tony Khan on his ideas of tampering. And I have here this post where on Instagram this post was put. I don't think that it has. It's still happening. I will reserve the rights when it comes to that, but I don't think that it has stopped. I'll leave it at that about tampering contracts with WWE. And Triple H liked that post. And it says, yes, this is real. That it really did happen.
Quick
what do you
question.
think of that?
What is contract tampering? It's just like when they offer you a contract and then another company say, "Oh, like we'll give you this much more instead." Or am I thinking?
I think it might be that, but then also, like when someone's under contract, but they're still like being courted to come over, like let's say, what was the one in the news? Like I don't know if it was Ray Phoenix or one of the Luchador brothers or something, but he's under contract with AEW, and WWE is like in talks with him, like calling him and talking to him while he's under contract.
Oh, and instead of being a free agent.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what they think. That's what tampering is, and I don't know. Maybe it is. It all depends on the terms of the contract, you know. Because I know in the NBA, there's like things in the contracts that say you can't discuss things with an NBA team while still with this team. Otherwise, that's considered like, I don't know, you could get fined or you could get stuff like that, you know, like there's terms in the contract, you know.
But I don't know, to blame WWE, it's kind of like the Spider-Man meme where he's pointing at like himself. Because don't they also do it as well?
Yeah, but you know, WWE's like the Fed. It's the bigger corporation.
Like they're the evil corporation. Like we're the good guys.
We're the indie, smaller, you know, blah blah blah. Even though they're just as big, making $288 million in ad revenue yearly, you know. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, if a person under contract can just talk to someone else, or you know, make themselves a better deal in some way, like that's good on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know too much about like the legalities behind it and stuff, but it's just like when you start pointing fingers, it's kind of like just take a look in the mirror. It's like you've been doing this same stuff as well. Like, what does it matter at this point? Where it's like, ooh, like they're in trouble. Like you're gonna get in trouble just the same, bro. Like y'all doing the exact same shit. I don't know. Then again, I'm just assuming based off stuff I don't know too much about. But it's like with Tony Khan saying it, we know he said some outrageous shit in the past. It's like, you know, I don't know. I don't know too much about it.
I think it's just funny if Triple H did like that post, if it was him. That he just is showing like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
I don't he forgot to switch to his burner account.
He's like, dude, I'll temper all I want. Like, it's your people that want to jump ship if you're not treating them right. Because there's a lot of people in AEW that I'm sure have been offered more money by WWE, and they didn't take it because AEW offered them either the better deal or they actually care about the promotion, you know?
I was like, that's the thing too. It's like you're gonna be offered like different contracts as well. It's like you want to choose the one that'll be best for you. I mean, it happens all the time in NBA, NFL, all major sports outlets. Like it happens, so it's like it's not odd. It's not. I mean, it's common. It's common that this shit happens.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't see the big deal, but I just thought that was something to look at, especially it continuing with that same interview of him in the fisherman looking hat, you know. We have here, I know you'd sent me this. AEW has announced the launch of AEW Stories, with the first episode focused on behind the scenes at last year's All In at Wembley. The show will premiere next Monday on AEW's YouTube channel. And I guess we could take a look at the video here. Let me see.
5-6 years ago, we had no idea we could even fit 10,000 people into an arena, let alone 8 times that.
If there were people like me that liked wrestling in a different way, then maybe there should be a place for it.
We came from Portugal, from New York, from Italy, only for tonight. Watch AEW All In right here at Wembley.
Wembley Stadium is on its feet. The entire world is all in. Oh, we got hungry fans. We gonna pizza tonight. Let's go.
Is this the same one that had real glass and all that stuff go down, right?
Yeah, the real glass, CM Punk choking out Jack Perry. I think that was the main thing that happened backstage.
Yeah. I don't see. I mean, that's the only thing that I can remember from that.
Oh, the Young Bucks couldn't pray because they were too focused on CM Punk. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
Oh man, it was when they showed the footage at that one episode of Dynamite, and like against FTR, they were like, "Oh, we weren't able to pray. That's why we lost against you guys like last time at All In and stuff." I don't know. It was really fucking weird. I'll watch it. It looks cool.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely watch it, especially if it's on YouTube. And it looks like they're trying to compete with like WWE's WrestleMania XL type thing,
like the docuseries and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I like stuff like this. I like the behind the scenes stuff, especially when it comes out a long time later and not just like the next other day or next week, you know.
Yeah, I'm cool with this because it kind of ruins the aspect of like the stories going behind it. I'm really hoping this year's All In, like they do something that's just like that will last throughout the years, like as far as like a memory wise. Because I'm telling you, dude, that last year's All In at London, I can't tell you anything that fucking happened besides the CM Punk stuff.
Yeah, that's all I really remember from it is just that happening, the real glass, and then that little thing of CM Punk blading where he went into the table.
Oh, just like stabbing himself like that.
I don't know why. I just remember that, you know.
That's fucking funny.
No. But yeah, hopefully All In, you know, this year's good. What do we have next year on here? Oh, I got this little blurb here from Cultaholic Wrestling. There is concern backstage within AEW regarding attendance and popularity of the company. Source Wrestling Observer newsletter.
Oh, okay, it's Meltzer. It must be true.
What is this? There is a concern that there regarding attendance and popularity. What is that even like?
I don't know. Is it just
whose concern is it? Who is concerned and what? You know, it's just such a vague thing to say.
I don't know. Just for them to take it out of context and like no link or anything.
Yeah, it's just okay. And I mean, I'm sure they've had that concern at one point, and then it went away, and then they've had it, and then it went away, and then they had it, and then it went away. Like, what kind of news is this? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. That's British news tabloids, man.
MJF's right. He's completely right. What do I have here? Let's see. Steve Austin addresses the WrestleMania 40 rumors, wanting to be a part of WrestleMania 41, and if he'll take up Cody Rhodes' offer to punch his legend card. Let's see here.
WrestleMania was the 40th anniversary, and there was a moment with The Rock and Cody Rhodes. You know, Rock with his heel turn, Cody Rhodes is bleeding, and in one of the trucks, your face was popping up. And with the new storytelling with Triple H, there was a lot of Marvel-esque theories that, oh, that means Stone Cold is going to appear. Of course, that wasn't the case. I have to ask you, how close was that to happening?
Oh, it was close, and they certainly reached out to me. We had conversations, but my wife and I had some things going on that I didn't need to go to Philly at that time. And but I have said I miss that Mania, and you know, god dang, Philly was a good town for me back in the day, and I appreciate those fans. Couldn't make it down on that one, but WrestleMania this year is in Vegas. And I was doing an interview a while back, and I said, "Hey, man, and that's 400 miles. That's that's like right here where we're sitting, right down.
We're 3 miles away from Allegiant
and
Stadium.
I'm fixing to drive back to Reno in my buggy, and so. But anyway, it'll be in Vegas, so I hope to be there this year."
Well, Cody said you haven't punched your ticket enough.
If he needs another hand, I mean, I'll be there.
Yeah. So there's Stone Cold kind of saying he might be there at WrestleMania. So I guess he was kind of supposed to show up like we had kind of guessed, but he just couldn't make it because of his wife or something.
I guess maybe they did plan that shit out, like with the trailer truck with Cena's face and Stone Cold's face just so happened to be there. But I'm not gonna let it discredit the fact that fucking WrestleMania main event was awesome.
It was good.
And it was like overbooked. But I mean not like in a negative way, but it's just like just for like the nostalgic wrestling fan in general, it's just like that was the shit I needed. And like even my good friend, my good buddy Juan, who's not really such a big wrestling fan in general, but he'll like if I watch a pay-per-view, he'll ask to come over and I'll invite him to watch it with me. And he'll like he was freaking out. He's like, "Oh, dude, what if the Undertaker comes out?" And then fucking the Undertaker comes out, and like me, Richard, and Juan are just like, "Oh my god, whatever." I'm trying not to throw up because I'm so excited. Man, dude, it was one like that's what makes me a fan, like shit like that. And maybe it still would have been cool if like Stone Cold popped out, but I'm cool with the fucking Undertaker too.
Yeah, no, it was still pretty cool. I just feel like that was like supposed to be Stone Cold, but having the Undertaker pop up was just cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
And he took The Rock back to hell with him. Remember when the lights went off and they came back on and The Rock was just gone?
It is just that clip of Undertaker running. Like, yeah. Oh, man. Good old Undertaker. Good old Mark.
But good old Mark. I hope Mark's doing good.
What do I have here? CM Punk responds to the idea that there would be similar incidents involving him in WWE that happened in AEW. That's all bullshit. None of that stuff is reality. He's a cancer, and listen, not everybody gets nice to me, but I treat you accordingly. If you are a piece of shit and you act the way to me, I will treat you that way. If you are nice, you're smiling, and you want to have a good time, let's have a good time. I'm all hugs. And it's not like I'm two different people. There's just certain people, the ones that spread those lies, the ones that say those things about me. It's because they can't control me. They can't control the things I do and I say, and they absolutely hate that. So they try to control the way other people feel or see me. And it's bullshit. You're gonna have to make your own judgment. You're gonna have to draw your own conclusion. And this is CM Punk from the Fanatics Fest. What do you think about him saying that he's not a cancer? It's the way people treat him. He treats them the way they need to.
I do believe him. I do. Not because I'm a CM Punk fan, but it's just like everything else, like, you know, video wise and like the shit that we know now. It's just like, man, he does seem like a genuine nice guy. You know, like give respect, and then you if you want to receive respect, like you got to give respect, pretty much.
Yeah, the golden rule.
Yeah, treat others the way you want to be treated, whatever. And and that's what I just been seeing ever since he came back. You know. Even though there's other wrestlers that do fucking hate him. You know, like Seth Rollins. I know Seth Rollins fucking hates him, but they're able to work together, you know, put their egos to the side and just put on a good match and you know, just to be professional about it compared to like the Jack Perry stuff where, you know, they bumped heads and shit like that. What do you think about this?
No, I believe it too, because yeah, like the fact that he left AEW on those for those reasons, right? Because of those people or that happening, and that there's still like half a locker room that still likes him over there, that still like probably calls him and talks to him and gets mentored by him, and that's why he won't necessarily talk shit about AEW because he has his friends there, but he won't name them because he doesn't want them to get shitted on, So you knew there was, when they made that whole Collision for him, and there was like certain people on Collision instead of on Dynamite, that he has like a specific set of people who respect him and then a set of people who don't. So I would say it's not him, it's the people around him, but he's going to treat you the way you deserve to be treated, I think, in his eyes.
Yeah, that's just life, man. It happens that way,
Mhm.
He even talked about saying that he wanted to leave, but then Tony Khan's like, "Oh no, we're gonna make this show for you, so that, like it's all gonna be about you, whatever." And then still, like he dipped.
I mean, he had to. It was the people around him.
Yeah, it's only so much he could do before you get tired of all that shit.
And I'm seeing what else do I have here, because it's not even really going into botches. I just still got like a lot of like random blurb news. Jack Perry has revealed a new TNT Championship belt. Did you see this belt he revealed?
I did. What do you think about it?
I was like, another belt. I mean, not that it doesn't look cool. It looks, I don't know. Like, I feel like they could have just gotten the other belt and withered it or spray painted it or made it, whatever. But he had to like reveal a whole new belt, and it just looks like a withered down version. It's like, okay, so how? And then it just tells you if they made a belt for him, how long he's gonna be champion.
Yeah, watch me get rid of it like 2 weeks later. Watch me get rid of it at All In.
They give Darby like one with a skull or something on it.
With the fucking with it just says zoomies on it.
It has the Spitfire.
Oh my god!
World Industries logo and shit.
The one it has the girl symbol on there. There's a fucking Plan B.
Element.
There you go.
Vans,
Element.
yeah.
I mean, it looks all right. I don't think it's a new belt to like add to the roster, but I think it's just like to replace the current design of the regular TNT Championship.
Why do we need to do that other than to just spend money?
They got the money, man. They got the $288 million.
I tell you, I don't know. Let me see what we have here. Bobby Lashley has now departed WWE. Lashley has been removed from the company's active roster, and as a result is now a free agent and can sign anywhere, anytime. And on August 14th, a trademark filing was made for the term "the Hurt Syndicate" for wrestling purposes by a company going by the name Totally Harmless Concept LLC. The same company has filed to trademark MVP back in 2013. It has also filed to trademark Ghetto Strong Style in 2013, a song by MVP that he uses as his theme in NJPW. What do you think about maybe MVP and Bobby Lashley, I don't know, doing something somewhere?
Oh man, dude, it's a shame that the Hurt Business wasn't able to like be as big as they were, dude. Because that was a team filled with fucking stars. I thought. Were you a fan of the Hurt Business?
Yeah. I liked MVP on the mic with his cane, and then I just like Bobby Lashley. He's cool.
Oh yeah, dude, Bobby Lashley's fucking awesome. Cedric Alexander is super underrated. Shelton Benjamin, always badass, like always a good performer in the ring. Yeah, nothing ever bad said about Shelton Benjamin. Like just someone who could go out there and put on a good fucking match if you told him to, or if you asked him to. And I just wish the Hurt Business was done more with, and just to get broken up just because Vince McMahon said so. And it's a shame. It's like I really wish they would have gotten put back together. I wanted them to have like a thing versus the Bloodline because I know that was the big thing happening at the time as well during the pandemic era. And it's just a lot of like what ifs, like what could have been, you know. But um, nothing but the best for Bobby Lashley. Like no matter where he goes, he's gonna succeed no matter what.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Same thing
think
with MVP.
I hope they do great things and not necessarily in AEW because AEW is pretty uh, filled to the roster to the brim. But
Mm-hmm.
who knows? Who knows where he'll end up? And hopefully he stays healthy because he's pretty up there too. He looks great, but I know he's in like his 40s too. I think, right?
He's 45, I think.
Yeah, he's up there. So
But
he
he
looks
looks
fucking great
great.
though.
Yeah, man. I wanted to go to TNA. I wanted to go back to TNA and just be dominant. Because I know when he first left WWE, he went to TNA and like reestablished himself. And he was like one of the biggest stars they had over there in Impact. It was crazy. Good times for Bobby Lashley, man. But no matter what, there'll still be good times for him. He'll succeed wherever he goes.
Well, all hopes to Bobby Lashley. I have right here Billy Mays the third. You have no idea how close something like something like this. Oh, here's Billy Mays. He has his dad Billy Mays cleaning up blood in the ring of a WWE event. It says here, you have no idea how close to something was this. I wish your dad had lived longer and guest hosted Raw. Billy Mays said, "You have no idea how close something like this was to happening. Sometime during the Attitude Era, OxyClean was thinking about sponsoring the WWF, and the idea I heard thrown around was that my dad would appear on Raw or a pay-per-view to clean blood off the ring mat for
What the fuck?
SummerSlam." It just has Billy Mays cleaning blood off the mat with OxyClean.
Dude, man. I miss Billy Mays, man.
Oh, dude, he was badass.
Oh, dude, he was so great. Like, I don't even think that's him. That's AI generated, right?
Yeah, this is AI generated. Yeah, I don't think he was that ripped.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Billy Mays was ever that ripped. I was like, he looks like Billy Mays mixed with Carl Urban.
No, that would have been interesting during the Attitude Era to have Billy Mays just show up to clean the ring.
Yeah, just, dude, for real, that would be fucking cool, man.
Yeah, the power of oxygen.
Dude, I use fucking OxyClean for my clothes, man. That shit works.
Dude, it does work. I've done it before with like a sock, like they do in the commercials.
Oh, dude, it makes my socks look fucking good. Not because, sexual reasons, but because I step in a lot of dirt in my socks.
Oh yeah, no, socks get dirty real quick, and not because of sexual reasons.
No, yes.
Here's Mercedes Moné has compared AEW All In to WWE WrestleMania, but reveals the big difference between the events. When you're prepping for WrestleMania, you're kind of worn down by the time you get to the big day, as each day is stacked with press and events. The big difference is that the WWE is in town for a whole week during their event, where we're not in the UK yet. I'm not sure what press and events we'll be doing next week, but I'll be sure to do as much as I can to ensure that it is promoted as much as possible. I'm sure I'll go without sleep for part of it, but it comes with the turf. A lot of times in the WWE, by the day of WrestleMania, a lot of the boys and girls would be so tired, like I said, but by match time, the adrenaline would kick in. I don't know
what is she saying.
I was about to say, I don't think there's any differences between the events. It sounds like it's the same thing. What?
I know. What the fuck is she trying to say? I don't know. It's like, oh man, I'm so tired when WrestleMania comes around, but I'm gonna lose sleep trying to promote All In because I want their success.
Yeah, because I don't know what's gonna happen when we get to it, but when we do get to it, I'm all in to it, and it's like
she said
okay,
it.
well, but what is that? How is that different from being a week with WrestleMania? It doesn't. I don't know. That didn't make any sense. The article really fucking clickbaited me. It must be a British tabloid.
I know it is a British tabloid. It's Cultaholic. Of course it is.
Oh Lord. Well, we'll move on. Dax Harwood. Let's see what he's doing. Dax Harwood on his Instagram confirms that Dynamite Kid Tom Billington was offered an AEW contract immediately on the spot after their match in Canada. The very next day, WWE reached out to someone close to Tommy and asked about his interest. Tommy ended up signing with AEW. So let's hear what Dax Harwood says.
Tom got there, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he told me about some of his financial woes. He had moved himself all the way to Canada to better his opportunities for wrestling. He told me about his financial woes, and I told him that night, I said, after tonight, we're going to get you a job. And we had the match. Obviously, he showed out, and he was offered a contract on the spot right there. He didn't accept just yet, but he was offered a contract right on the spot. I know the very next day, WWE also reached out to someone close to Tommy and asked about getting him there. And there was I don't want to say a bidding war, but there was a bit of, some power plays, and Tom decided he wanted to come to AEW. So I think you'll see more of Tommy Billington in AEW to come. Tom.
All right. Well, I hope we do see more if he did get a contract signed with them.
I know, man. That's good. He must be good. Like, if he was offered a contract, like, right then and there, that's fucking awesome.
Well, then he has the name, right? Like, he's the son of the Dynamite father, and I don't know who the
Dynamite Man.
I forget who like the original Dynamite kid was, but I guess he's got that name point with him. So I guess that's good that he was signed. I don't know. And then WWE trying to swoop in and use the powers that be to fucking tamper.
Tampering with contracts, damn it. We're not about this.
I swear.
We're more civil than this.
Mark Henry. Oh, I love, because I read this headline. I don't know if you saw this headline of Mark Henry. Mark Henry says if Vince McMahon's alleged rape victims are suffering, they should suffer all the time.
What the fuck?
So you hear that headline, right? And you're like, and just like in this post, surely he was taken out of context. But when you read the article, and I actually read the article too, it gets worse. So according to Henry, that negativity came about once the alleged victims stopped receiving any type of payment of payment from McMahon. People were like, you're being insensitive. There's other people that suffered. Henry recalled, I said, yeah, but some of those people that y'all are talking about, their suffering got worse when the money ran out. Henry continued for some reason, asking, where was the suffering when they were getting BMWs and $1 million? Did that pacify the suffering? Because if you're not suffering, you should suffer all the time, right? Nothing should get in the way of that. I don't know. I just come from a different time. It is unknown what time Henry was referring to, because rape has been illegal since 17th century BC.
Oh, no.
So here's Mark Henry again, kind of working himself into a shoot by saying these women should be suffering all the time if they're only suffering when they're broke. What do you think about Mark Henry?
The Janelle Grant stuff? Like he's
Yeah,
referring to?
Yeah, the Vince McMahon stuff.
Oh my god, dude. That's bad. That's bad.
I love how he says at the end, I just come from a different time. I don't know about y'all, but I just come from a different time. And it's like, what time do you come from?
I know, dude. It's like, I'm sorry, dude. I can't fucking defend that shit. That's just retarded.
No, that can't be defended. I don't know. God bless his son, and hopefully his son is like, yeesh, dad. Like, I'm trying to get a contract here with WWE. Quit fucking burying our name, you know?
I know, quit burying the fucking Henry name, please. It's like, I met Kyrie once, Dad. She's super sweet.
She's just disrespectful. But I'm from a different time.
I'm from a different time. But if she was around my fucking vicinity, I'd beat the fucking shit out of her. Damn it.
But if I had a nuclear bomb, World War II.
It's like, somebody go get the wig split. It's Kyrie saying, damn it. I'm a pick her up, break a neck.
What do I have here? I don't know what this is. This is just emojis.
Real quick, side note, I love 3-6 Mafia.
Oh look, 3 Mafia is good.
Yes.
I like the one from the movie Hustle and Flow that they won. You know, it's hard out
Not out
here
here for a pimp. Yeah, dude, that was good.
Here's a meme: Tony Khan's newest signee, and then Tony Khan's currently unused roster members.
Oh
And
man.
if you're looking, it's Buzz Lightyear. If you're just listening, and all the other Buzz Lightyears. So Tony Khan
from Toy Story 2, another really good sequel.
Yeah. That one you think it should have gone straight to DVD, but it was actually really good.
Oh hell yeah,
Very
absolutely.
good. What do I have here? Big Ray Phoenix fans over there in WWE. According to multiple reports from multiple sources, all right, Penta has already signed with WWE, but Tony Khan has been trying everything to convince Ray Phoenix to stay in AEW. Those reports are stating Ray Phoenix is on the fence, but is leaning towards the WWE. So Tony, the guy who claims only wants the best for professional wrestling, is trying to break up the Lucha Brothers. And this is just a tweet from some random guy. I don't know. What do you think about these sources? People would just say, according to multiple reports,
I
and
know.
multiple sources.
Fucking Ray Phoenix. It's ugly seeing it like that. I don't like that.
It's what REY, right?
Yeah, REY, and then I think they say Phoenix. It's FENIX.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you have anything to say about the whole like Lucha Bros situation? So, real quick for those who don't know, there's speculation going around that the Lucha Bros are planning on leaving AEW, and the thing is that there's speculation they're going to sign with WWE, and the whole IWC is fucking head over heels for this shit because they're like, oh, they're gonna get ruined by WWE. They're gonna get put here. Like, rest in peace, Lucha Brothers. And then the other side where it's saying, well, dude, they haven't been utilized in some time. Like, they've only had like 4 matches this year, supposedly.
Damn.
From what I've read, I don't know if it's true, but they said like this past year, they only wrestled like 4 times. I think that's bullshit. I feel like they've wrestled more times than that. But then again, I don't know. Tony Khan does have his favorites, but people just want to speculate shit, man. It's like, I don't know what's going on.
Nope, I don't know. I think now with the partnerships like with TNA, NXT and TNA, and the other partnerships they're doing like with what is it? All the other promotions like the Japanese ones and stuff like that. I think they could really do a lot more with new signees now, and so I could see them being more tempting to sign with, especially like you said, if that is true, but just speculation of them having so little matches, and obviously Tony Khan, having who he does have on every show and all that shit. Like, yeah, it could make sense that they'd want to go to WWE because WWE is doing a lot more now,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just wish the best for them. That's all I can really say.
No, me too. They're pretty cool. They're pretty good. What do I have here? Here's an interview that's so awkward with Braun Breaker. Let's see what she has to say.
Never have I ever given or received a lap dance. I'm like looking at the finger. It went down. It went down. Given or received? Do we want the details?
Next question.
All right, next.
Oh, it's so awkward, man.
Yeah. Why was that so awkward for him? It was, right?
I don't know. Like, was it her? Was it him?
I don't know. I guess he just didn't want to answer. I don't know how old he is, but I don't think it'd be embarrassing to say I've gotten a lap dance before,
I don't know. Maybe because it's a lot of media and it's his first time. Maybe it's his first time doing like all this media like to promote SummerSlam. And then just to be asked a question like, oh, like Barry Killer fuck.
Yeah. Like, talk to me about wrestling. What do you mean?
Yeah, I
Why
guess
is
that's why
this-
he's all awkward about it. It's like shit. I'd be awkward too. So like, I'm trying to promote SummerSlam here, dude.
Well, speaking of Braun Breaker, here's a video from a different angle.
And now driving Sammy. Oh my God!
Ooh.
Sammy's dead.
Sammy's dead.
And now driving Sammy. Oh my
Oh, dude. Audio listeners. it's a clip from this past Raw. They had a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental Championship between Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn started doing a moonsault off the barricade. Breaker grabs him, fucking runs with them, and just torpedoes him like over the barricade into like the timekeeper's area.
Mhm.
And like this other camera angle that's being shown is Sami Zayn just bouncing cartoonishly off of the chair, and it looks gnarly.
It looks good, yeah. Just throwing an entire human being, and not even a lightweight one at that. I mean, Sami Zayn's pretty fucking heavy.
Oh, dude, I know. He has to be at least like 200, I
Yeah.
think.
At least 200, 230, something like that. Definitely. No,
Ugh.
Braun Breaker's doing good things. He doesn't need to answer your questions about lap dances and shit like that.
I know. He's like, literally, I killed a man this past Monday.
Ask me about that. That's less awkward. What do I have here? Oh, me creating new emails to get free Xbox Game Pass trials. And it's just 4 different faces of Cody Rhodes.
Oh my god, that's so dumb. Look at that mustache, though.
Dude, that's a pretty creepy mustache. I don't know why he fucking went that route.
He was dashing Cody Rhodes, man.
That's true. Oh shit, what do I have here? Me when I wake up at 10, I was supposed to clock in at 8. It's Roman Reigns just really with his mouth and eyes open. I've been there. I've woken up at 10 o'clock and like, oh shit, I was supposed to be at work at fucking 6 a.m. or something.
Yep. Good time,
terrible.
man. My manager calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, is everything okay? You're supposed to be here at 5. It's 7." I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Like, fuck. That's a ugly feeling. Like you gotta run and take a shower and
Dude, it's like I don't even fucking shower. I'll just fucking head to that bitch right away, all stinky.
Here's Nia Jax coming out. It says here Nia looking like $1 million. What do you think? How do you think she looks? I think she looks fucking actually really great.
No, yeah, she looks great. She looks presented well there.
Yeah. No, I saw this and I was like, man, I gotta show this because she usually looks like, you know, just the big blubbering kind of goofball girl, but here she looks fucking like badass, you know.
No, yeah, she's presented very well. I wonder where her championship's at. I guess they had it in the ring at this time. But she's been, like I said before, she's been doing tons better in the ring, like performance wise, you know, on the mic and stuff. Like she's made a lot of improvement, and I give her the props. That's awesome.
And finally, here we have Stephanie Vaquer putting a TV host in the camel clutch.
Se está poniendo morado. No, así estoy.
For audio listeners, yeah, that's all she did. She put a TV host in the camel clutch, and he tapped out super quick.
Dude, have you been put in a camel clutch? Richard put me in a camel clutch when we were younger.
I feel like I've been put in one. I feel like, well, I'd love for her to put me in one so she could break my back.
Yeah.
Like, I would want my back broken just because I feel like it needs to be broken. Not even in a sexual way. Just like break my back, please.
Like Mr. Incredible when he gets pulled apart and his back cracks and then he starts kicking ass. That's what I need.
No, I don't need anything done for fucking sexual favors. I just need my back broken.
Yeah, I mean whatever comes first. Yeah, but when we were younger, Richard did a camel clutch on me, but it wasn't even a camel clutch. He sat on my back and he just cranked my fucking neck back. It was like 8 and 10 years old, so he beat the shit out of me all the time.
And you still feel it to this day.
Oh man, I feel great.
Yeah. No, but I think we're good. That was another day of wrestling and news from reputable sources of the British community. I'm glad we could get to them. I hope all y'all don't fact check us because we're not here for the facts. We're just here.
No, we're just here to talk about it, man. That's all we're doing.
We're just talking about it. Yep. Don't get behind the curtain. But what do you have to say to the people, Gabe?
Take our credibility, more seriously because we're an American news source, and that's better than the British tabloids that try to promote that propaganda, like Mark Henry. But no,
that's pretty terrible news.
But on a serious note, thank you guys for listening, like on YouTube, Spotify, giving us a like, comment, sharing, hit that notification bell. Everything y'all guys do, it helps support the channel.
Yep. Thank everyone for listening and watching and sharing. And we'll see y'all next week with any other news that comes out. And everyone take care. Stay safe. Bye.